it's great to be here. Looks like it's going to not rain all day. Although it's interesting traveling the state. The last 2 days I've traveled in smaller communities, and I can tell you the counties, water is a big deal. They would not complain about any rain at all. Baker County, Hamilton County, Columbia County, they care about needing more water. So it's a real honor to be here, and it's nice to be here with Senator Lynn. I guess you've been in office for how long? 18 years in this state. So I've been ratified the next journey for Senator Lynn. And Representative Buell, thank you for, these are individuals that work their tail off on your behalf, doing the right thing. And so good luck with, I guess you're going to move up, or you're working on it, right? So good luck. And Fred, thank you for all your hard work. The first time I met Fred, he said we had met right after I won the primary, and he said he wanted to do all these hard things. He says, "Yeah, I did that, and I got attacked for that. I did that, yeah, I did that, I did that." So he's willing to take on all the tough issues. So good luck in your race. And then the sheriff. Sheriff Johnson makes sure that I don't forget anything I'm supposed to be doing. He calls early and often and makes sure that we do the right thing with regard to law enforcement. We've had the opportunity to work on, probably the biggest thing we've done is pill mills, but the sheriff has been a big help. If you ever decide to run for governor, and hopefully no one runs next time, if you do run for governor, you have the opportunity to meet great people all across the state that really have a positive impact. You think they just have an impact in their area, they don't. Those four individuals have had an impact all across the state, so thank you very much. And then another individual that is, I just want to recognize, not elected official, but Maury Husseini. I got to know Maury during my campaign. He's on the board of governors. A nice, easy job, no politics. But we're trying to do the right thing on higher ed, keeping the cost down so people can afford higher education, making sure we constantly raise the bar, do a lot of things that Embry-Riddle has done by building an international reputation. And we're trying to do the exact same thing with all of our universities, and Maury has done a great job there. So as you know, I'm sure you saw a couple ads. I ran on a campaign to get our state back to work. As you know, I've been one of the most fortunate people in the country. I started school living in public housing. My father had a 6th grade education. But only in America can you come from a background of parents that struggled their whole life to become governor of the greatest state and the greatest nation in the world. Only in America. And what's allowed us to do that is the free market. It's capitalism. Government doesn't create jobs. Businesses create jobs. Businesses are the ones that are going to turn this economy around as long as we treat them with respect. Now, everybody in this room, you buy things. Very few people say, "I'm only going to buy things made in America." But what they will say is, "I'm only going to buy things if I get a great price." Because typically, every product and service you buy, there's 2 or 3 or more competitors. So when you find that product or service you want to buy, then you go to price. So none of you say, "Oh, I'm going to pay more money because that company's headquartered in a high-tax city, state, or country." None of you say, "I'm going to buy from that company because it takes a long time where they're located to get a permit, which costs them more money." Or because they have regulations they have to comply with that cost them money. It causes their cost of doing business to be higher. None of us do it. Now, if we make this the place, if we make our communities, our cities, our counties, our state, and our country the best place in the world for businesses to prosper, then we'll do the most important thing we can do for families. We each have a moral responsibility as elected officials to create an environment where businesses can prosper so businesses can hire more people. The biggest issue we have in the world right now is people need jobs. You can't build your family, you cannot afford any safety nets, you can't afford education, you can't afford law enforcement, you can't afford any of these things if people can't get to work. Because if people can't get to work, it doesn't matter what your tax rates are. There's no taxes. Now your state government is funded with sales taxes and property taxes. My goal is to create an environment where so many people want to do business in our state that we can constantly reduce our taxes but still have all the safety nets we need. So what have we done? I've been governor for 17 months, and with the help of your legislature and your elected officials have had a dramatic impact on getting these things done. But first, let's talk about taxes. We've reduced the business tax. We have a lot of good things going on in Florida, but we have to constantly understand that we are competing. We're competing with 49 other states, and now we're competing with people who say, you know what, I'm okay, I'll move to China, or I'll move to Vietnam, or I'll move to India, and I'll open my business there. So if it's better for them to do business there, and you'll buy their product, they're going to do it. So step one on taxes. We've reduced the business tax. We don't have personal income tax.
Excuse me.
Oh my God.
Urging the roles of our voters in the state of Florida and taking away the vote from citizens.
More questions later. Thank you so much.
So the first thing we've done is we have a no income tax, we have a low business tax. But if we put ourselves in a position that we have no business tax, then think about what's going to happen. All right? Step one, businesses will flock here. So we cut the business tax out for 2/3 of the companies that were paying it. On top of that, permitting processes. We put agency heads in that looked at how long it took to get permits. Now, if it's something that we shouldn't give a permit for, we're not going to do it. But it's something we should, we'll do it promptly. So now it takes 2 days to get a permit or a license from the Department of Business and Professional Regulations. 64 days to get a permit from the Department of Environmental Protection. Regulations. There's regulations that strangle businesses. Local regulations, state and federal. So we're in the process of eliminating 1,100 regulations that just strangle businesses. It's not things we need, but it costs you money. On education, we said we're going to make sure that our principals can keep the best teachers. So we said we're not going to have tenure any longer for new teachers. We're going to start the process of merit pay so we can keep the best teachers. And this session, we're able to increase the amount of funding for K through 12 by $1,068 million. Because by doing that, by making education a high priority, by making jobs a high priority, and then the third issue is keep the cost of living low. Don't let government raise the cost of living. So probably the biggest thing we did this last session is auto accident fraud reform. It was costing you over $1 billion of excess cost for a $10,000 no-fault healthcare policy on your auto insurance. If you live in Hialeah, a family making $40,000 a year, 2 parents working, it could cost you $5,000 or 14% of your take-home just for the $10,000 worth of coverage, not for your auto insurance. On average, it was about $1,890. And this was growing at 30% a year. And this was a government-mandated policy. So we got that passed. It wasn't easy. We got it 2119 in the Senate, but we got it done. So these are the things, and guess what happens? It works. Our unemployment's gone from 11.1 to 8.7. It's the fastest drop of unemployment in the country other than one state. The number of people on unemployment when I took office was 568,000. It's now down to 340,000. Now if you decide to go on unemployment, you go online, you do a job skills assessment. If you need training, we have training for you, but you also look for a job each and every week. Right? We also number 2, according to Chief Executive Magazine, as the best state to do business. Although one state is ahead of us, Texas. And I let Governor Perry know every couple of weeks that his time's up. He's had 8 good years. It's our turn. So and then workforce boards. Right? You can get online, and we have, as you know, my emails are all online daily. Most of the senior people in my administration, their emails are online. So you can look at what we're doing, but one of the things you can look at every day is your workforce boards. We have 24 workforce boards. They get ranked every day. They get ranked every month. And now they fill about 30,000 jobs a month. About 25% of those people were on unemployment. So all these agencies are having an impact on getting jobs going because we need jobs. So, but we're not done. We have 800,000 people out of work. Now, look at the finances of our state. For 20 straight years, the state debt had increased over $1 billion a year. Last year, state debt went down $500 million. That's with a budget that started out with a $3.7 billion budget deficit. We balanced the budget, we created a surplus, and we paid down debt. We're doing the exact same thing here. And it's only because you have a legislature with your members that are supportive of this, of watching how we spend your money. We are the most fiscally responsible state in the country. Now, we have things we have to fix. We have a pension plan that's underfunded. We have citizens insurance that's not properly funded. But we're heading in the right direction if we just stay the course. So every county, every city here in the state needs jobs. I brought in a new individual to run Enterprise Florida, Grace Swope. He did it for Haley Barber over in Mississippi for 7 years. He's working with our local economic development teams to try to get companies to expand here that are already here and get companies that aren't here to move here. We've done 5 trade missions. We did Panama, we did Brazil, Canada, Israel, and we just got back from Spain, all in an effort to help Florida businesses create relationships so we do more business. And by the way, some of the interesting numbers that people don't realize, we're the 3rd most number of technology companies in the country. We are the 4th biggest exporter of any state in the country. We export a bigger percentage of our manufactured goods than any state in the country. So we've got a lot of things going for us. And it's Florida businesses that are making it happen, and existing businesses that are making it happen. So that's what your administration's doing, your government's doing, your legislature's doing. And if you have any ideas of things that we ought to be doing better, call us. I think everybody that's been elected at the state level is very focused on the exact same thing. Education for your child, jobs for you, keep the cost of living low. So those are the things we're doing. We're making a lot of progress. It's if you ever decide to become governor, I can tell you, it's a fun process to run. It's an interesting sometimes. But it's a great, if you like people, there is no better job to have. If you want to try to have an impact, a positive impact on somebody's family, there's no better job than being governor of this great state. This is the best job you can ever imagine. Now, it is a big state. You get to travel a lot. You know, so your family, your daughters, your grandchild much, but the other part's pretty good. So, and you get to meet great people. So, thank you very much for the opportunity to be here. I look forward to any of your ideas. If you think that I ran on a very specific campaign, if you think I'm wavering from what I ran on, call me, hold me accountable. I believe in what I ran on, and that's what we're doing. And we're clearly going to be the state that's going to be known as the #1 state for education and the #1 state where people can get a job. That's the most important thing. Thank you very much for the opportunity to be here.